Yes, sir. My Trigger. Back up in this thing, man. Today, I'll be reacting to some mysterious videos that'll have you fully invested. Let's get it. Never mind a chemtrail, this is a chem blanket.
So guys, the Black Eye Club has a new member, Jay Leno. Check this out. Oh my gosh, it looks like somebody beat the crap out of him. But apparently, it was because he fell down a hill. Now guys, you know I'm skeptical about a lot of things. I find this story very fishy though. Just check out the details.
The comedian says he fell down a 60-foot hill.
I said, well, the hill doesn't look that steep. Let me take a... And then
You rolled down a hill? Oh, that's not true.
But I'm sure what you guys are really asking, so what is the Black Eye Club? To be honest, guys, I really don't know. Lots of celebrities show up with black eyes. Lots of famous people. I think it's kind of unusual. I mean, I've never had a black eye. I'm sure I've had people who'd wanted to give me one. Probably still do. But I've never had one. Most of my friends have not had black eyes. I don't normally see people with black eyes. But all these famous people have black eyes at some point. Obviously, that's interesting. Are they in the Illuminati? Maybe. Maybe. Who knows? Probably. It means something, I'm sure. I mean, it could be the one-eyed symbolism. You know, you could have it's typically the left eye these people are bruised on. Is that the Eye of Horus? Yes, it is. So it could have something to do with that. It could be like a humiliation ritual, because it's like Jay Leno specifically had to go out in the public to show this off.
If he really rolled down a 60-foot hill, you would expect to see a lot more cuts and scratches. This is just one big bruise. It looks like the Illuminati sent in Gervonta Tank Davis to do his Black Eye Club initiation. He needs to learn how to bob and weave next time. It sounds like the horns of weather modification to me.
The upcoming Wicked movie might be cursed just like the legendary sequel was, The Wizard of Oz. Of course, this is all conspiracy, but the original Wizard of Oz set was plagued by accidents. So first of all, the Tin Man's aluminum makeup poisoned Buddy Ebsen so bad that they had to send him to a hospital, and he got so sick that they had to find a new actor, which was Jack Haley. And then we have Margaret Hamilton, the Wicked Witch. She suffered severe burns in a fiery stunt that gave her second and third degree burns. And then of course we have Judy Garland, who played Dorothy. She faced extreme dieting and abuse that haunted her for life. And now fans are worried that history is repeating itself. Wicked stars Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo look shockingly thin. I mean, just take a look at the before and afters. Also, isn't it interesting how Ariana Grande is playing a witch in the movie, and she said herself in real life that she is a witch?
You are a witch?
I am indeed. The witchiest witch.
If the curse was that they couldn't eat a morsel of food for the duration of filming this movie, then this is the most cursed film I ever seen. I would have slipped them a bag of chips or something.
Nah, that's what it looks like it is. Some kind of parasite in there.
Yeah, there's worms in there, bro.
It's probably like real small. Oh yeah, you see it? Been in there for years. Yeah, it's a whole generation of it.
It's the sewer sludge. Moving sewer sludge.
I'll give you $100 if you lick it.
100?
$100. Yeah, bro, just stick your tongue down there. Yeah, make it like how you do a Swiss sweet.
I'm so happy that didn't get on me. I went home, I swear to God.
And they said this was sewer sludge, but I've never seen sewage that looks like this. They must have been working on Lady Gaga's plumbing.
The word magic is tough because initially it could conjure up the stereotypical image of a magician with the gloves and the top hat, and it just sounds like trickery. But what's interesting about that is that even that symbolism comes from Freemasonry. The clear symbol that we have of what a magician should look like came about in like the 1920s, like a vaudeville thing, but it was inspired by the the costume of Freemasons. It's just unfortunate that we have all of these things in front of us in the zeitgeist, making us look in one direction when a lot of the truth is still hidden in plain sight.
It makes sense, because if you think about one of the most well-known sayings in magic, which is a real magician never reveals their secrets, the Freemasons are the most secretive organization on this planet. Like now, for instance, they want us to pay attention to the aliens over here, then ta-da, one world government. If I had a beach day and I went to take a dip and then this rubbed against my foot, I would probably hyperventilate. It looks like a forbidden eyelash extension.
Most Americans would be shocked to learn that the Pentagon's very own Public Affairs Office openly employs a professional psychological operations officer as the singular point of contact for any UAP-related inquiries from citizens and the media.
The Pentagon employs a PSYOPs officer for all UFO inquiries. Who would have thought?
This satellite footage of the Philippines captures something scientists have never seen before. It was taken on November 7th, and up here to the west, Typhoon Mars has just smashed through the country, killing one person and damaging nearly 30,000 homes. But now look out here to the east, another weather system's forming. This becomes Typhoon Nika, and it hits the Philippines 4 days later on November 11th. And just as it makes landfall, here comes a third system. This is Ophel, and it develops into a super typhoon that hits the exact same region 3 days later with 150 mile/hour winds. But look at this, a fourth typhoon. It's another big one with 150 mile/hour winds, and it struck the Philippines just this weekend. Zoom out and you can see something that meteorologists say has not happened since records began. 4 active typhoons on the map at once, all lining up to hit the Philippines one after the other after the other.
4 typhoons hitting the same location back to back like this seems unfathomable. Harp got the typhoon machine set to DJ Khaled mode.
Another one.
I'm not really sure what this is. I just know it kind of reminds me of a secret project I heard whispers about once upon a time involving some sort of being that's blue.
Kim Kardashian's a witch and you cannot tell me otherwise. I'm gonna block her bosoms because they're just too much for the internet. But Kim Kardashian is facing backlash for wearing Princess Diana's $200,000 cross necklace for the first time. So like, Kim Kardashian is the first person to wear this necklace ever since Princess Diana. Someone said, what is her thing with buying accessories worn by deceased celebrities? Got me thinking, is Kim Kardashian dabbling in some dark magic? Let's not forget this is the same woman who wore Marilyn Monroe's dress. Same woman who took a piece of Marilyn Monroe's hair, bought several of Michael Jackson's jackets, another jacket, Michael Jackson's fedora, and Elvis Presley's memorabilia. What is happening? This woman is clearly dabbling in some dark magic, black magic, voodoo. It probably makes the most sense of how someone who was a corn star turned into a multi-billionaire. It's the magic, guys.
I mean, if she really is a witch and she's trying to channel the spirits of these celebrities by buying all these items, then she needs to work on her spells and divinations, because I've yet to see her exude any talent. She can have Michael Jackson's entire wardrobe and still couldn't moonwalk.
Found these gelatinous blobs while walking in the woods. They resemble something called star jelly, a mysterious substance associated with meteors and UFOs. It seems likely that this is a slime mold, Exidia thoriciana or something similar. What should we do with it?
It's possible that this is some type of slime mold or animal egg sac. The only way to really verify that is to send it in for testing, but they got a little too handsy with the specimen for me.
You're actually a product in the Crown Corporation. It says copyright, Crown copyright at the bottom of your birth certificate. It's a copyright certificate. So
they own you.
They own us. They own us. Imagine that. Imagine a living being giving birth to another living being, and then that living being signing a document giving away, because the word register means to give up the rights of. That's what the word register means.
If you had children, would you not sign a birth?
Absolutely not. Why would I give my child, my living, breathing, conscious, spiritual, intelligent being that I've co-created with my partner, why would I then give it to a Crown Corporation government? It doesn't make any sense to me. The government have insidiously invited themselves into every aspect of our life, and that's why it seems like we're in a spider web, we can't get out of it. Oh, if I give up my legal identity, then I can't achieve anything. Well, guess what? Totalitarian tiptoe has been creeping in since 1667, since the birth certificate.
What's even darker about this is that if you even try to opt out, then your child won't ever be able to participate in society. It's basically giving us no choice. I don't know who agreed to this.
This is a picture from NASA of the rover of Mars. There's a rat in it. Like, how would Mars have rodents on it? If there was a rat on Mars, it was probably Werner von Braun. When you look at things from an unbiased point of view, NASA does not put out images that are not CGI. Does this look like a real image to you?
Out of pure curiosity, I just googled rodents on Devon Island and it brought me to this page about lemmings, which looks identical to what we see in the picture, but according to NASA, it's just a rock, so we'll go with that.
Why are all these celebrities moving out of America? We're going to miss you guys. We really are. Some say it's because of the election, but let me tell you, she's been involved in a few, I don't know, scandals. It was really, really hard for her to come back after the conspiracy theory about the pillows on Wayfair. Do you guys remember that? And a lot of people have been questioning her relationship with P. Diddy, but guess what? Lips are sealed. She has nothing to say. Remember when her and Kevin Spacey were handing out pizza to people at the awards show? You got P. Diddy bestie / St. Tropez frequenter Leo. Didn't Taylor Swift write a song about you and St. Tropez? Naomi Campbell likes St. Tropez too. Same with Pamela Anderson. What is it about that place? Let's be honest, in hindsight, when we see things like this, it brings on a whole different meaning, does it not? Definitely giving the vibe, I'd say. Let's be honest, this is the first time we've seen her panic. Will it be the last?
Once Diddy takes the stand and starts pointing people out in court, I feel like Ellen is the first of many celebrities to leave the country. I wouldn't be surprised if Leonardo DiCaprio was on a flight to Cambodia as we speak.
Have you guys ever wondered why witches are usually depicted with having black fingertips?
This is what I mean by black fingertips. Here's Agnes from WandaVision with her black fingertips. Here's Wanda herself after having worked with the Darkhold. Here's the witch from that movie Gretel and Hansel. And here's Gretel after having learned from the witch herself.
Aside that it implies that the practitioner has worked with the dark, in occult studies, like the eyes, that are known to be windows to your soul, fingertips and cuticles are known to be another entrance. And through your fingernails and cuticles, demons were known to enter your body. So it's another entrance for demons to possess you, which is why many practitioners would cover their fingertips to prevent demons from entering them and to prevent any other imposed ill will from other practitioners.
Well, now it makes sense why Michelle Lemie's fingers look like she's been working nights at the Kingsford Charcoal Factory.
You've seen one of those implants, haven't you?
I have been privy to some very interesting things.
This photo, he says, shows one of those interesting things. It's allegedly a biological sample removed from a US service member and submitted for analysis. This is possibly an alien implant.
Well, if you look, there's actually a piece of the chip sticking out and what appears to be these fibers that were moving on their own. And then it looks like this chip or whatever this is, this foreign object, is encapsulated by some sort of biological material.
Could that not be something biological, microbiological, or parasitic?
Well, it certainly, the outside looks like it's some sort of masking device. In essence, you have a foreign object, which it's a metallic object in there, and it seems to be encapsulated by some sort of biological material.
How do you know it's not just a bit of metal that somebody's knocked into on a building site?
Well, in this particular case, this was moving on its own. It was actually had its own metabolic activity. And it terrified one of the doctors who was looking at this under a microscope. Said they didn't want to see this again.
Earlier in this video, Lou Elizondo himself said that the Pentagon employs a PSYOPs officer when it comes to ETs, so it's hard for me to believe any of this unless I see the alien implant moving with my own two eyes.
Donald Marshall, assuming clone whistleblower, wrote an infamous Facebook post in 2011 exposing the elite cloning program and underground cloning centers. He claimed his family sold out to the elite and he was cloned as a child. He also claimed that every night when he falls asleep, he wakes up at the cloning center through REM consciousness transfer. According to Donald, the cloning centers are controlled by the G20. The G20 is a group of international state leaders, the central banks, and the current chairman is King Salman of Saudi Arabia.
If this is true, then this would corroborate what the rapper B.O.B. has been trying to expose for years, and this is definitely where they sent Kanye.
This part will deal with the mysterious occurrences involving black goo. Watch this newscast clip about black goo droplets. It is extremely weird.
Western part of the valley are completely perplexed over these brown, black, almost oily looking droplets that are falling from the sky. They're everywhere. They're over all of these cars. They're over an RV in the back of the lot. They're all over this basketball court. The big question is, what are they and why are they falling from the sky? Helicopters through here.
Marco Cervantes is at war with, well, something.
See on the floor?
Something that's been falling from somewhere.
It could also be grease, oil, I don't know.
Here, there, everywhere. Thousands of little black and brown droplets have rained on Cervantes' property consistently, he says, for the last 3 to 4 weeks.
It's very hard for me to maintain my vehicles. It's very, very difficult to be outside of my yard knowing that you can't even cook a barbecue or anything like that and you get droppings on your food.
Neighbors all refused an on-camera interview, but each and every one said they've experienced the same thing with no explanation.
Here is another clip about weird black goo showing up with unexplained reasons.
Something resembling it is found in the Indian River Lagoon. What is it? And is more on the way. Is Channel 5's Megan McRoberts, part of the largest news team on the Treasure Coast, and she joins us live from Jensen Beach. Megan.
Michael, tonight environmental experts are trying to figure out exactly what washed up ashore here on Hutchinson Island over the weekend. A viewer sent us a photo he took on Sunday of what appeared to be a black gooey substance on the Hutchinson Island shoreline just south of Herman Bay that he says spanned for about 100 yards.
And we fished different areas, but I've never seen it.
Baker has fished on Hutchinson Island as well, but after seeing this...
Yeah, I wouldn't eat anything I caught from over there.
This was just 2 of the many examples I have of the black goo showing up mysteriously. Any more would make the video too long.
The black goo that washed up on the beach could just be residuals from an oil spill or possibly tar, but other than that I have no answers, but I think I know who does.
They had 2 different kinds of ice they worked on and studied. This is where it gets interesting. One kind of ice was the normal kind that we've all seen. They took cores of it out of boreholes in the ground. Just like normal ice, it was mostly clear and sometimes white, and it would melt into liquid water if it got warm. The whole area of Antarctica is covered in this kind of ice. But that wasn't their main kind of ice. The only time I ever saw them actually studying normal ice was when a film crew from National Geographic came by. The rest of the time, which was most of the time, the scientists were studying something they called sky ice. This stuff was totally different. We were never allowed to go into the laboratory areas of the station because the labs had to be kept super clean, and they said it would mess up their work if they risked letting too many people in the lab. But one time, one of the researchers that I was friends with showed me a piece of sky ice. You couldn't touch the stuff with your bare hands because it was so cold. And it wasn't clear or white like normal ice. It was solid blue. He said that's why they call it sky ice, because it was the exact same color as the sky. We had to wear thick, heavy going outside gloves to handle it. The stuff was so cold, it would instantly freeze your skin if you touched it. I don't remember what the temperature he said it was, but it was something like hundreds of degrees below zero. Way colder than the normal ice that was outside. He had to carry it in a metal bottle that was kind of like a thermos. He let me play with the piece of it for a while. It felt lighter than a piece of normal ice of the same size. Like it wasn't very heavy at all. It almost felt like you could throw it up in the air and it would just float back down. But I didn't try that. And it was also a little flexible when I tried to bend it. It didn't break like normal ice would. And even for a small piece, you could see through it. It was solid blue right from the surface. And here's the really weird part. It didn't melt into water. When it got warm, because we had it inside, it just started to shrink. It got smaller and smaller, but my glove never got wet. And there was no water on the floor. The stuff just turned into thin air when it got warm and vaporized. He said that was the reason why they had to study the stuff right there in Antarctica. You couldn't take the sky ice back to America to study it because it was almost impossible to keep it cold enough during transit.
If Antarctica actually has this type of ice, then number one, they need to just leave it alone. But number two, it's a good thing that it melts if you try to take it away, because they definitely would have mined it all by now, and King Charles would be walking around with a scepter made of sky eyes.
You won't believe what this man captured on camera. This Snow White statue at a Mexican theme park in Veracruz is said to be cursed. In this footage right here, you can see a man filming the statues of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And then, all of a sudden, the Snow White statue blinks. The man who filmed this video snuck into the theme park past midnight to try to prove a legend, as it is said that the statues of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs come to life at night. This theme park, Reino Mágico, receives thousands of visits each month, but few know its actual history. It was built on top of a cemetery.
I'm almost positive this video is edited, but in a small chance that it's not, I know the person that filmed this is still going to therapy for this.
The government has come out and stated that UFOs come from underwater, and many people have been talking about it, but did you know that this was also talked about in the Book of Enoch? According to the Book of Enoch, when a group of human women laid with a group of angels known as Watchers, they reproduced, thus creating giants, aka Nephilim, and as a consequence, God punished the Watcher angels by chaining them beneath mountains until Judgment Day, and punished a group of women by cursing them with a demonic form, turning them into sirens, or what some people consider mermaids. It's speculated that from this point, the sirens took the advanced knowledge they learned from the Watcher angels, went deep into the ocean, and built what we know as the Marine Kingdom. Swiftly, if you don't know, the Marine Kingdom is a term used to describe a place deep within the ocean that not only has sentient, potentially humanoid-like beings, but full-on advanced civilizations and communities, which some people theorize are far more advanced than what we have here on the surface. And with the government admitting that UFOs and UAPs come from deep within the ocean, maybe that theory isn't as far-fetched as it sounds.
There's a reason why the Council of Rome decided to exclude the Book of Enoch from the Bible. Maybe this is the reason.
Is the Illuminati real?
I think they are.
Do you know?
No, I don't know anyone in there.
She's telling the truth.
And don't you even think that that's because I'm a part of it. Because I know some of you are going to do that nonsense. Okay?
If they strapped up Ariana Grande and asked her that question, a polygraph machine would probably start smoking.
The wealth and power of the legacy of the Rothschild family has no boundaries. You've heard of a lot of celebrities that own islands. None of them have their own island in Antarctica. This is Rothchild Island. There, they have an island. So Rothchild Island is in Antarctica. But why? The Antarctic Treaty clearly says that there is a no-fly zone over Antarctica. I wonder why the wealthiest family in the world would want an island there. The French Antarctic Expedition of 1908 to 1910 named it the Rothschild Island, in honor of Edouard Alphonse James de Rothschild, 1868 to 1949, head of the Rothschild banking family of France, and president of the de Rothschild Frere. So odd. It's a black rugged island 39 kilometers, 24 miles long. And it's covered by ice, but it does have some prominent peaks. And it's 8 kilometers, 5 miles west of the north part of Alexander Island in the north entrance to Wilkins South. Do you know about the legends behind Antarctica? They are each so interesting. Just Island is in Antarctica. You know, Antarctica, where you can't go there. There's a no-fly zone. This brings me to the legend, the mythology, the story of how after World War II, there's this story of how the Germans had fled to Antarctica. And all of the stories about Antarctica having extraterrestrial bases. Stories about Antarctica having the entrance to the inner Earth. Yeah. Add this to all the weird things that the Rothschilds have and do. Why? Why?
If I had to take a wild guess of why they have this island, I'm sure they've accumulated a lot of gold and treasure throughout the past few centuries, so what better place to stash that than some deep underground vault in Antarctica?
Do y'all know about the different entities of sleep paralysis?
Not the different ones, but I know that like
There's the man in the hat.
The Hat Man, the shadow people.
There's one called the Hag. And it's like
Hag.
an old lady.
The Hag.
The Hag, dude.
The Hag.
Dude.
I've never heard that. But my uncle, they were living in this house. He got up one morning to like get some water, and he was walking back to his room, and he heard something in the kitchen. He turned around, and there was an old lady standing in the kitchen. And he just like freaked out, and like the dog barked, and he looked down and looked back, gone. He didn't tell anyone that. The next night, his son was sleeping, and the dog was sleeping on the bed and started barking, and he opened his eyes, and at the foot of his bed was an old lady. And then she just walked out the door, gone.
Dude, I hate this.
Sleep is so weird.
I am afraid.
That was the scary.
I'm very scared.
I never had experience with any of these entities, but one time when I was really little, I went to sleep in my parents' room, and I woke up, and I swear it was Big Bird standing at the end of the bed. I don't know what they've been spraying on the crops these days, but whatever it is, they need to chill. This is a Donkey Kong sized banana. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.